through this. Hello, dearest beer. Welcome to another fascinating round of Beer Thursday. Because today we're mixing music and technology and old with new, and some people like what's going on here, some people don't. It's highly controversial, is it not, Jay?
Highly controversial.
Wait, is it, or is anyone controversing over about this, or it's the first I've heard of it?
I haven't heard any, but I'm sure that, you know what? Let's be the first. Let's be offended by it.
Somebody can't believe this. It is astounding, shocking. I am horrified. I could throw up at Randy Travis's new song that he's released on the song world out there.
Yes, places. Sir, indeed. Yes. He is officially back on the country Billboard chart.
So is it a hit then?
It was a hit. I don't know how far it went up. I haven't really kept track of its status. I wish we had some sort of a device.
I have a question.
Where we could look that stuff up. But I don't know if there's such a thing as that. But
what's the name of the song, Jay?
The song is called "Where That Came From."
Where that came from? Okay,
I'll tell you where that came from. It came from a computer, partly true. Mm-hmm. So, for those listener of our dear sweet Beer Thursdayans, for those of them who have not heard this new song, I certainly recommend listening to it, even if you're not a fan of Randy Travis or country music, because this is a technological breakthrough that's, I find, to be both amazing and completely frightening. Basically, what they've done is they have created a new single called "Where That Came From," a Randy Travis song, one that never existed before, that now exists in the universe, and they used AI to make it happen. And how did they do it, you may ask? Well, I may ask me the same thing.
Now, when you say AI, what are you referring to?
Artificial intelligence.
Okay, I've heard of that. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically,
I can't do that, Bob.
Right, exactly. So the long of it is, for those who don't know, Randy Travis he had a stroke, which he almost died from in 2013. And so he cannot sing anymore. He doesn't really talk that much at all, really. But so his producer, longtime producer, Kyle Lenning, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, used a AI tech to overlay decade-old lyrics originally performed by country singer James Dupree with Randy Travis's vocal sound. Basically, they went through this catalog of many of Randy Travis's songs to create this AI thing. And they had Dupree, I think, actually went in the studio and sang the song again, and then they overlaid with AI. They overlaid the artificial version of Randy Travis over it to where it sounds like Randy Travis is singing it. It sounds, and they was very meticulous the way they worked on it. So because his producers like, we're not going to release it if it's not perfect. We don't want it to not sound exactly like Randy. And in my opinion, what they came up with sounds exactly like Randy Travis. And yeah, it's really amazing. So when they recorded it, they're sitting in the studio and they're playing it for him. He's there. He signed off on it. He was okay with it. It blew him away, and his wife was there, and it brought her to tears because she was hearing her husband's voice again, hearing him singing words that he's never sung before, And there was other artists in there in the studio with him, like famous, and a lot of them were weeping because they just were blown away by what they were able to create. And I understand they're gonna do some more. I don't know if they're gonna do a whole album or what, but their whole thing is, if it's not perfect, we're not gonna release it. So there we go. Thanks for listening, folks.
And according to my sources, it debuted at number, I lost it. It debuted at number 45
Okay.
on the charts. Oh my gosh, I lost it. At 45 on Billboard Country Airplay chart. That was back in May, so we're behind the curve, or I'm behind the curve because I had no idea. And it was his first solo single since his song Angels made it to number 45 back in, 48 back in 2005.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's, and I guess, are there people out there who are upset that because of the AI generated production, or is everybody just cool with this?
Oh, I'm sure there are people that are upset about it. I mean, it's, there are probably people looking at that, you're taking away from artists that are actually out there singing it, writing it themselves. I mean, it's gotten so bad. I don't know if you're aware of it now, but there's some AI technology now. You can type in what you want the song to be about, some keywords, and what kind of genre, and it'll belt out a song. And some of it is really good, and it's completely, artificially created.
And does it matter if it's artificially created, or are we okay with that?
I think some people say if the song's good, the song's good. It doesn't matter how it's created.
Yeah.
I say no. I mean, I have a problem with that. It's just, it's still lacking the soul, the human touch. I mean, then again, I don't know. I mean, they can recreate it. I mean, what if AI goes to where it's, self-aware and starts, get AI artists out now, they're out there doing music. I mean, it's scary, and, just thinking about it, but it does take away from it. It has the potential of taking away from actual human artists, but I think it's up to the individual person as far as recreating a real person's voice. Randy Travis was okay with this. He signed off on it. I don't think it would happen. I think it'd be kind of weird, and I don't think the family would ever sign off on it. But if they can do this with him, they can do this with anybody. I mean, Elvis Presley could have a new song out next week.
Yeah.
They could do it with anyone.
Yeah.
And
I don't like that.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's a lie. It's not real.
Yeah. And I don't.
It's also time for it to toast.
Oh, well, let's toast that. Let's toast that, motherfucker. All right. Shane?
My turn.
Yeah.
Jay.
Toast. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was aggressive.
You scared me. Good.
Brett's become, son of a bitch. Let's take 2 and action. Brett's can become memories, or they can become regrets. Make the most of what you get.
Cheers.
You know what? Maybe they're not all great.
They don't have to be. That's the way I look at it.
I'm reading back through all the Doom books that the original author's son has written with Kevin J. Anderson. And some of the books are about the battle against the machine, the thinking machines. And it's essentially, AI takes over and robots start taking over. Artificial intelligent computers / robots start taking over the universe. So the humans rise up and fight against it. There's this one robot named Erasmus who is fascinated with humans. And so he starts trying to create paintings and write symphonies. And So it kind of reminds me of this. And every time someone listens to it, they would say, well, you didn't really, I can hear pieces of this composer there and this composer there. I can hear all these influences. You didn't really create anything. You just you took different pieces of something, of things other people did, and you reorganized them. You haven't really created anything. It was nice, but there was no heart, no soul, no feeling to what you've done.
Right.
And to me, most pop music has always sounded like it was written by a machine. It's never had any heart or soul to it. So to some extent, I can see how people are going to be okay with, I mean, it's got a hook and I can dance to it. A strong and simple beat that you can dance to.
That's a good point. I mean, when it comes to, when you think about it, like with like pop music, stuff like that, to me, that's, I don't want to call it throwaway music. It's something catchy that people can party to.
You can hop to it while you're drinking Jaeger.
Right. But I don't think that I don't know that I would have a big problem with, but if you start doing, say, okay, now we're going to do a guy that's doing like Bob Dylan-esque stuff, like singer-songwriter stuff, but it's complete AI, that probably to me starts becoming an issue.
And I don't want to put artists out of work because
no,
software is making quote unquote art.
That's the main thing. It's another thing that's kind of, because you touched on this, where people borrow, songs sound like they're other songs anyway, pop music especially.
Yeah.
This has been happening forever with music, period. Like people, even John Williams has taken ideas from other classical musicians or composers and incorporated them in his music. You listen to the planets, and some of this sounds very similar to something from Star Wars or something like that.
And Hedwig's theme from the main theme from Harry Potter. If you listen to the melody and then listen to Darth Vader's theme, the last part of the phrase, pretty similar. Da 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 da.
Now, who wrote Hedwig's theme?
John Williams.
So he borrowed from himself. That is next level. That's next level right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I don't know if he just copied what he did or if that's just John Williams' style, but.
Yeah, he might have like, I like it when I did this, but what if I took it this way instead? Maybe it may do an F instead of a C.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. Well, there's another one like real famous Broadway musical composer. He did Phantom of the Opera.
That Weber?
Huh?
That Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Yes, Andrew Lloyd Webber. So there's some, and I
we
do
know
not
our
remember
musicals.
Yeah, there's some stuff that he's done that sounds like a direct ripoff of other music. But it's sort of the same thing. People borrow. Well, even Billy Joel will say, he goes, I steal from I borrow from everybody. We all do it. They all do it, but not.
I don't mind sampling.
Yeah.
Because to me, sampling is a nod. It's like, okay, that really worked, and it can work in this way too. And we're not trying to hide it, except for Vanilla Ice. He tried sampling, to hide.
Yeah, that's obvious, and I don't think they're trying to hide anything unless they try to pass it on as their own. But as long as they're crediting who the original artist, I don't have an issue with that at all.
And Lin-Manuel Miranda did that a lot in Hamilton. But he did it as nods, and he fully admits, there's a book where he goes through all of his songs and he breaks down the writing process and everything. And you can tell he'll say, this line came from this song. It came from this hip hop song. And I wanted to give a nod to this person because they really influenced me. And then he had some lines that were from the Bible. He had some lines that were from other musicals, and he did it as nods.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with that. Especially if you're giving credit to where credit's due in that situation, I don't have an issue.
Now with this song, where that came from,
Randy
Travis was involved.
Yes.
I think since he was involved with it, he was involved in the whole process. And since he can't perform anymore, he gave his cognitive, what's that word? I mean, he was of sound mind, gave his permission, worked with them on it, and it did a good job of recreating something that we couldn't have otherwise done. He was on board with it. His wife was on board with it. All these other artists were on board with it.
His producer,
this is fine.
Yeah, his producer, who was the guy that produced a lot of his hits. This guy, he's the one that's putting it together. So you have someone who knows Randy Travis, and Randy Travis himself is there. And if he heard it, and if Randy heard it and said and didn't like it, then this guy's gonna delete it. We're not doing it. So they're not gonna do a disservice. So in this case, I don't really have an issue with it because it's not complete AI either. They're basically using the original singer for the song who wrote the song. They're using his vocals as the guide track to lay a AI over it, using the actual Randy Travis vocals that they made magic with on the computer. However they do that.
I'm okay with that because they're giving him full credit for it. Candidly, maybe more credit than he deserves for it. But maybe. I mean, that's being harsh.
Yeah.
And I was never a Randy Travis fan, but I think this is a really nice thing they did for him. I think it's a really nice thing they did for his fans, and it's a beautiful use of this technology.
Yeah, they're using their powers for good. Speaking of good,
you know what? This episode was not funny at all.
It was not funny.
The funniest thing was how lame my toast was.
It was pretty lame. No, just kidding. No, I'm not. But speaking of good, it's good that were listening, and I hope we didn't bore you with this exciting conversation, but you should definitely check out the Randy Travis. We'd love to know what you think. And we'd love to know what you think about the show. In fact, we want you to send out your comments and your ideas, toasts, what have you. We'd like you to come back every week if you can, because we're here every Thursday morning just for you. And well, no, we're doing it just for ourselves, but you're going to get it as a bonus. And go to our Pantaloni Patreon page. Sorry,
thank you.
I always say Pantalones. Go to our Patreon page, and you can be a patron. You can give us $5 of your time monthly. $5. What is that? Shane, that's a Starbucks.
That's a Starbucks.
That's a Starbucks. Yeah. Or 7 Brew or a Seattle's Best or whatever.
Dave's Hot Coffee.
Dave's Hot Coffee and Lava. I mean, it's everything. It's everything. The Dutch Brothers, the Blues Brothers, the Brother Brothers. It's everything. But anywho, we are so glad you're here listening to us, and we hope you continue to do so. And we will be back here next Thursday for another really cool round of Beer Thursday theme song.